Hey guys, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. It's the end of the month. That means it's time for our Footnotes video. So, November 2021 was somewhat productive for the channel, I'd say. I got my extra floor for Market Street built, and that is out on the channel. And I actually got a couple other things up on Rebrickable that I didn't cover here on Brick System Brothers. So you might want to check out those mocks. But the other thing I did in the workshop was carpet. So this is going to be really nice just to have some carpet down, and you know, if I'm dropping things on the floor, I'm going to start working a little more on reorganizing, sorting, consolidation of different pieces. I've been getting a lot of the these other Stairlight, kind of a larger bin size, and what I'd like to be doing with these is the drawers of acromills that are too full and have like overstock and overflow. I'll be slowly migrating those pieces into these larger bins, and then long term ideally is going to have a shelving system for these bins that kind of goes underneath the acromills. So yeah, I'm still looking to get a few more to finish up the smaller drawer systems, but for a lot of pieces I'm actually moving to the larger bins now. So making progress there. And yeah, I think I had this last time. This is just, my desk is upstairs now, so this is kind of taking the place of that, just a dresser that I had, and kind of another workspace area, storage. And back at his room, Josh has been working on some of his display stuff. So what'd you put up this month?
So I've had these shelves out before, but I took them down because I painted my room,
Yep.
as you can see.
Nice gray color here.
So I got these back up. Unfortunately, the lights on the bottom broke, which is okay because I don't really have a shelf to display anything down there. I'm also working on getting some of my Star Wars ships hung up in a little fighting battle scene. So I've got 3 Y-Wings, 2 TIE Fighters, and then X-Wing custom built by Nathan. So I'll maybe do a video on that once it's completed.
Once it's hung up in its place?
Yep.
So you're going to have like a little squadron flying around up here?
Yeah, just kind of around the area.
Just dropping down some fishing line from the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
And the last time we were looking at the shelf, you had the Speed Champions, but you put a few more things on top.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any of the new Speed Champions for this year yet, except for the Supra. But once I do, that's probably going to line the rest of the shelf, and I'll take some of that other stuff down.
Yeah, nice setup, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're both making a little progress on our Lego areas. Okay, let's cover the analytics for a brief moment here for November. And recording as of the 29th, but this is delayed by 1 day. So we're not getting quite the entire month on here, but kind of get the idea. Actually saw things generally steady, and then a little bit of a jump here at the end of the month. This is typical from this past year. We're not seeing a lot of exponential takeoff, but we're also not really dropping off. So I'd say this is good. This is about where I want to have it at, where it's still manageable as something I do in my downtime and not a full-time project. So about 16,000 views, 700-ish watch hours. That's actually peaking in the middle of the month. 60 new subscribers, and we'll see our public subscribers at the end of the video in that roll. And $30 of ad revenue peaking here at the end, second half. I think October revenue was down a little bit compared to this, and I was going back through and looking, not a whole lot, but maybe a little. I was going back through and looking, and a lot of the October videos I didn't put the pre-roll and mid-roll ads. So that's something I've started to bring back in on a few videos, just looking at what types of ads we're running. And some of our videos were still just leaving unmonetized. Like, I think one of them was the JCD and Hobby Tour. So that one, really just to focus on what Jay's has, and actually being able to have Doug there doing the tour with us, just kind of as a courtesy to Doug, leaving the ads off that video. So I think it was really cool that we were able to have that host just kind of walk through. And what you get with that is the perspective of the person who's actually put in the time and effort to get to that point. So if I end up at like the Omaha Bricks and Minifigs, and it's not really busy, I'm thinking I'd actually like to do something similar for other Lego stores, but I don't have anything on the calendar when I'm going to get down there. We'll have to wait and see. So that's the analytics from the month. Pretty steady, like I said. But talking about JCD and Hobby, I actually made a small purchase while I was there, and I wanted to just cover that real briefly. Lots of windows again. Like we saw with Doug, they do have the windows sorted out by themselves, so it's easy to go through and say, yeah, I need some of these white frames or some of these white shutters, and just kind of grab those out of a bin of just windows. That makes it a little easier there. Generally larger pieces in this purchase, actually some 2x4 bricks here. So some dark green, and then this is the old brown 2x4 bricks. I think if you buy these from Bricks and Pieces or even from the Pick and Build wall, it's still kind of pricey just because those are going by volume, and 2x4 is actually not that small of a piece. So 1x4s I actually covered a couple months ago, and a large cup you can get like 200 1x4s, so roughly 100 of these in a large cup without stacking. And just look at the cost breakdown there. It's not as good as you can do if you're just buying bulk and getting some basic bricks in the mix there. As you guys know, bulk is my preferred buying method, but yeah, they had some stuff at Jay's. I guess the Fabuland car door would be new. This is a nice piece to get in bulk and not on Bricklink because it's pricey on Bricklink. I got a not only my signature blue chair piece, but also a Technic blue chair. So those are a little more obscure than the minifig chairs. And then I saw a nice group of these hinge panels, and this is the old hinge style. So those are out of production now in transparent light blue. Some slopes, some of these train windows for the Prince James observation car. The classic space thruster in blue. Yeah, I don't know. Good mix of stuff for 10 bucks. Just over 100 parts, I think. Maybe 150 or so. I did the count, but I haven't put these in Rebrickable yet. Stuff that caught my eye. A relatively short time frame that I had there to pick. Not quite as many as I usually am able to get in there. It was kind of a rushed thing because we had done we had got the footage for the video and then they were about to close, so I had to kind of pack that in at the end, but was still able to get some good stuff, and I'm sure I'll be back there at some point to get some of the other stuff that I wasn't able to find. And the other thing I want to talk about is, well, there's two things actually. Rebrickable, like I said, I've been putting on additional mocks here that I don't necessarily cover on the channel. At some point, I'll probably mention them. And a lot of times, the mocks here on Rebrickable, you're able to link a video to them. So it's something where I'm going to put it up, it's ready, it's done. And I make a page for it on here, and then when I do have time to get back to it on the content side, then I can just put that in later. But the specific thing I want to mention is related to the levels here. So on Rebrickable, they have a level system, and as you go up, you climb up through the levels, you can unlock certain features, and just kind of keeps track of your activity. How much you're involved on the site, I suppose. So this is something I hadn't really paid attention to at first, and then within the last year, as I've been putting on more mocks here and watching this number goes up, it turns out there's actually some perks as you get into the upper levels. So the next level from here, level 15, one of the things you unlock is 3 free months of the Pro plan on Rebrickable, which has a lot of features related to parts list, which if you watch some of the other stuff that I do on Rebrickable here on the channel, very involved with the parts list. This is kind of one of the main things I'm using to track my inventory and collection at the moment. So this is going to be something that I'm really interested in kind of observing how my interaction with the database will change. Will I be using it more with these features unlocked? Basically, it raises the cap on how many parts you can have in a list and how many brick lists you can actually have, and it also gives you customizing options. So at this point, when I go to a parts list and let's just say open up the Ankeny job lot bricks, this is kind of the default view. I can't really change the page width or the thumbnail sizes of these pictures, and that's fine. This works just great for what I need it to, just keeping track of the pieces that are coming in. But on the Pro side, which is what I'm about to get a free trial of, this will open up customizing options, and I can actually resize the pages. I think that applies to the export as well, and you can do a lot of different things that are currently not available to the basic free plan of Rebrickable that I use. So just by getting to level 15 and not spending any money on here at all, just kind of using it in related to parts inventories and mocks and stuff, I've kind of worked my way up through the levels, and it should only take one more mock to get to this level 15 threshold, and at that point I'll be able to try out this pro version of the site for 3 months. At level 20, I think you get unlimited pro access, but each successive level takes more points to reach, so it's not really linear. It takes that much more effort and that many more mocks and points and stuff to get to the next level after this. I'm not really sure. That's something I'll be trying to drive to in those 3 free months that I do have. Just have to kind of wait and see. But I wanted to mention that it's only 36 points away here, and definitely will be happening early in December, and I'll have that. It might get featured in some content. So the other thing I wanted to talk about here is our Tournament of Elements kind of event that's going on right now. As we go into December 1st, I'm going to open the polls, and I think the way that's going to work is we'll kind of have divisions in the bracket here. So this top quarter, where everything kind of narrows down to this one line here, I'm going to be calling this Division 1. And then as we go through each matching, these will be like kind of the pairings or the sets that we'll be voting on. So tomorrow on the 1st, we'll have 8 votes at a time for Division 1. We'll be voting between these two, and then that will determine this result here. And then we'll do that for each pairing. So there's a total of 16 elements to choose from, but there's only 8 votes. And then those 8 winners of the poll will advance to the next round here. But we'll be taking turns of the divisions in these first 4 days of December. So we'll do Division 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll kind of narrow that down for each round one at a time, and then work our way in from there. The first half of this tournament was submitting a bracket, and kind of the prediction side was the additional part. And at first, I was going to have Brickset help us get the word out about the prediction side as well. But now, just in conversation with Hugh, a couple emails back and forth, I think the Brickset side is just going to be helping get the word out for the polls, which is great because we do want more responses there. We want to have the more people that reply, we'll have a better idea of what the favorite elements are. So that will help in either case. But yeah, maybe looking at next year, having this be a little bit more coherent when it gets launched. This is kind of the first time that I've put something out like this, so it's been a little bit bumpy, and we didn't get very many submissions at all. So if you did submit a bracket, and it's not quite too late, you still have technically until the end of the day here, but it's not going to be too hard to win the Ninjago set at the moment. So even if you just want to, like, the way that I do this is just copy and paste the part image in for the result, and then I just do that for all of these. So I made a bracket. For the first matchup, I had the rounded plate winning, and then for the second one down here, I had the bar, and then when these two face each other, one of those gets eliminated at each step, and then eventually you just have a one overall part winner from the 2021 bracket. These are all parts that have been released this year, and the thing that would make this good for an annual event is at the end of the year we'll be able to look back and see the new Lego pieces that they have put out that have been released in sets over the past year. So kind of a similar thing to looking back at, like all the 2021 sets that were released. Within many of those sets are new parts, new elements that we haven't seen before. And that's what I wanted this to be about, is the elements themselves. Which ones are we thinking will be more useful? Somewhat, speculation at this point, and we can't really know for sure which ones are going to be used as much. They're all less than a year old, so it's anyone's guess at this point. But as time goes on, I'm sure we'll see more of these in use. Some of them we may not see again. They'll just kind of be a one-off. Some of them have a lot of potential to be useful elements, but they're only going to be released in a couple colors, and that's going to kind of limit things. So like, I don't know. Just pick one here. Like the little 3x3 tile, macaroni tile, is only in olive green right now. So if you want to use this in light bluish gray for like a concrete curb, you don't really have the ability to do that because it's color locked. It's a new element. I'd say for this specific tile, we have a pretty good chance at seeing it in light bluish gray in the future. But right now it's a brand new element. It's only in this one color. So a lot of these, we don't necessarily know how effective they're going to be. Some of them it's actually easier to tell. Like these new brackets, pretty much tell those are going to be universally applied. They're pretty useful for detailing work. But yeah, it's just going to have to be a waiting game, I think, to really know the overall impact a lot of these pieces are going to have. But to me, that's part of the fun, and I wanted to put this out, just see how it went. And like I said, it's kind of not as engaging as I wanted it to be. And that's okay. Not everything we put out is going to succeed. Some lessons learned we can take into next year. And we'll just see with the brick set side of things, if we get help from them to get the word out about the polls, that might be different. But I'm going to make the November 30th deadline kind of a soft deadline, just because a lot of the people on Brickset that will want to vote won't necessarily have that Instagram account, and the alternate voting system in place is to fill out a bracket and just submit the bracket, and then like, this is my vote. So my selection for this winner in the bracket would also represent my vote preference. But if you don't have an Instagram account, they wouldn't be able to do that because we're running this through our Instagram. So that's all going up tomorrow, December 1st. I did want to get that in here. Didn't necessarily want to make a separate announcement for that. Putting it in the footnotes, probably spent too long on that already, but that's in November here at Brick System Brothers, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Almost 3 years now, coming up on the 2022 January 5th anniversary of launching the channel, but we've got another month here to go in December. A lot can happen in a month, and I've got a couple things for sure that I'll be putting videos out. The next modular extra floor video will for sure go up in December. Probably we're going to be seeing Cafe Corner at some point. Like I said, it is almost 100% complete in terms of the parts, and I have been working on building it. So that will be coming up at some point. We'll be doing our tournament elements in the first half of the month and the voting with that. So we'll see you guys around. What's at Walmart video is coming out after this one later today. So that will go up in the afternoon, and then that will take care of our November here on Brick System Brothers. We'll see you guys next time.